Good evening, everybody, and welcome to the Atomic Salt Live Show. We're back after a couple of weeks of interesting stuff. This is the live show where we discuss everything in the tabletop hobby world. Tonight, we're going to be talking about Operation Red Veil. I am Wild Chevy, and as always, I'm joined by my buddy Casey. Casey, how have you been this past couple of weeks?
Oh my gosh, it's been a crazy couple of weeks. I don't even want to talk about it. It's just been nuts. But we're here, right?
Yeah.
That's the important thing. And we're here for you guys.
So, what have you done anything painting wise, gaming wise? What have you done?
Gaming wise, I haven't done. I mean, it's hilarious. I've been gone for so long, and I haven't done any gaming. However, I've been doing a decent amount of painting. So I finished up a little bit of terrain from Underground Lasers.
Oh, yes.
And I actually have finished up all of my MDF terrain that I have. I have no more.
We need to get you some new stuff then.
Well, we'll see what happens, right? But I had a couple offers on the table, so we'll see.
Cool. Yeah, for me, let's see. I went to Battlehaven.
Yeah, man, let's talk about that.
Yeah, for folks who don't know, Battlehaven is a retreat getaway for us gamers, tabletop hobby folks. It's set in Heber City, Utah. So right next to Park City, beautiful area. There's this cabin off in the woods. I'm going to pull up some photos while we're chit-chatting. Yeah, it was an amazing weekend for me. Just a lot of good food, a lot of gaming.
So while Alan's pulling up the pictures here, we're going to be doing a lot talking about Red Veil this evening, guys, because obviously our copy has gotten in. So Alan, surprised to no one, has picked up the Hawkes Thumb half here. And I'll be starting Eugene. So along with that, I picked up a couple of extra boxes of models to kind of get the army kick-started off. What you see we're working on right now is they're called Looming. They're heavy infantry. And we'll get more into this a little bit later here, but as is always the first step, we're just kind of going around, checking out the model, looking for mold lines, scraping them off where we find them. I'll be the first one to say, oh, here we go.
All right. So here's just a sample of some of the stuff that happened at Battlehaven. I was only there for 2 nights, or 2 days, 1 night. And this is just some of the food that was there. All the stuff was handmade, really cool. The presentation, like they had this is like a warp way that warped into croissants.
So if I remember right, every evening had a theme to it. Is that correct?
Yes. So this is Eldar, so here's just more photos of food. A lot of different prizes were given away. I happened to pick up this Munchkin Marvel.
Was that a prize, or did you win? Or did you buy that?
Random drawing.
Oh, that was a nice one.
There's the food for the first evening. Got a nice mug. We had crepes, I think, for dessert. Yeah, it was food. Food was amazing. It was, but here's the view from one of the porches. The lake there was part of the property, so you can go out paddle boating around. They have a pool and a hot tub in the back. Just pretty much everything you could think of. Folks here just eating breakfast. The morning breakfast was a pancake bar.
So how many people did you have there?
We had 30 people. I think they can max out at 50 or 60.
Now, would you want that many folks there? I mean, just
No,
because you can fit that many in there doesn't mean it's going to
there is enough room in the facility that you can house everybody and not step over table or step over toes or anything.
be. Okay, good deal.
So yeah,
That's the one thing I worry about, right? Is, I mean, I don't mind going to a tournament or a convention where you have a ton of people, because you can always leave the facility, you know?
Mhm.
Like, I need a little bit of space at some point.
yeah. There's the downstairs had a media room, like a full-on theater media room. Um, like they have several tables here for board games. Some people went outside to paint. There's the wall of board games that they have there. Here's some of the tables and the terrain setup. One of the special guests was the laser cutter guy. So he was showing off it, laser etching, laser cutting. Yeah, and just people playing whatever games they wanted to play. They had painted armies there, so if you wanted to play a new game and they had armies there, you could run with them.
What did you bring and what did you play?
I brought Infinity. So here's one of the boards that we played on.
That is a beautiful board.
Mm-hmm.
That is a truly beautiful board.
Here's some other boards. Here's a trench board. I also played Infinity on this board. It was a Zone Mortalis board.
How did that play? I mean, just thinking about it, I would think that would do pretty well.
You know what? Because all the walls are pretty much like buildings. We said that there's no going to be, our walls are infinite height. There was plenty of doors, and it made it for an interesting game. I crit shot Phoenix in a reactive turn. I was pretty happy with that.
Good deal.
Here are some
even
of the.
Even as a left player, I call Phoenix. Like, I call that BS.
Here we have some of the painted armies for use. Just amazing little retreat. That's what it looked like on the one of the floors, the main kitchen floor, I guess.
So a lot of these pictures, it looks like the place is fairly empty. I mean, is it just so big, even with everybody going, it's just kind of keeps that empty feel?
Well, we're all gamers, so some of us are early to rise, some of us are late to sleep. I saw a game of 40K that was going on, and I was like, no, I look at my watch, I'm like, oh, it's 2 o'clock, it's 2 a.m. in the morning. I'm not going to watch this finish. I'm going to go sleep.
And you woke up to them still playing?
The game was over and other people were playing. So, the laser cutter guy found, I guess this is on the forums, but all this terrain fits in that big box.
Was that done by the laser cutting guys who were there?
He did not design it. He was cutting it for a quote.
Oh, so it's just kind of like a free use.
Yeah. Killian from Beasts of War commented and said that it was one of his designs. But everything breaks down into smaller bits. So like right here, like this is a small little square room. It opens up, everything pops out. It's like a big venting system. Everything stacks together and all fits snug as a bug.
Nice. You know, because that's always a huge problem trying to find a place to fit all your terrain.
And yeah, and that's how it looks on the outside. Really cool place.
So, like, all right, this is gonna sound weird, but how is parking? I mean, with 30 people, like, is there like a parking lot or something that you parked at? Or
Yeah, it's just a little driveway area. I mean, some people carpooled. It's one of those retreats that you could take your wife to. Several people had their significant others there, and yeah, nobody was forced to do anything.
that would be kind of a neat thing to see, is them do like an SO program. Because my wife likes playing board games, and she likes eating, all of those things, and likes cabins. But tabletop gaming and doing board games for like several days on end is not really her idea of fun.
Mm-hmm.
And so if they had kind of like every day we're going to do like 2 or 3 things away from the cabin.
Yeah, I mean, like they had a demo, which one of the guys from came in, showed a demo on weathering, but it's Heber City, so it's close to Park City. So if people wanted to, they can go downtown and shopping. It was far enough away from everything, but close enough that you didn't have to worry about being out in boonies.
Yeah. And how far away is it from Salt Lake again?
I think about 30 minutes out of Salt Lake.
Yeah, and it's like on a 3-lane freeway going both ways. So you get there quick.
Yeah.
I mean, this is not like in the middle of nowhere, but like in a way it kind of is. It's easy to access, but I mean, basically it's a ski resort town essentially in the summer.
Pretty much. Oh, I was wondering what that noise was. You're sawing away your stuff.
Yeah, sorry, I'm trying to lean my microphone way back here. I was debating on whether or not just like muting the mic, but I'm like,
yeah. Other than that, painting wise, I've got a few commissions in the works. The Azrael, I put him onto his gaming base.
Oh, I'll be honest, man. That's compared to some of the ideas that I saw bandied about. That's kind of a disappointment. I mean, it looks nice. Don't get me wrong. Very well done. Looks great. However, but I'm like, oh man, I thought you were going to get all wild and crazy with it.
I still can. I still could. But that's just the stopping point. I went for it. It's a gaming piece, unfortunately. So if I was going for competition, I would have done a little bit more. But since it's gaming piece, I know it's going to get nicked up. I know there's going to be some stuff happening to it.
So, but you did actually enter that in a competition, though, right? The one
Yes.
that WGC was. How'd you do?
Don't know yet. It's still this all the votes and all that stuff still going on.
But so they have an extremely complex method for voting.
For judging, they do. For the online folks, the player or the People's Choice stuff, it's just 1 out of 10. But yeah, other than that, painting wise, I've got this commissar from a Steel Legion commissar tank commander that I'm painting up for a commission.
Is that a Forge World model?
Yeah, it's a Forge World one. He's resin.
I wish I had a resin model right now.
Yeah. I know it's not Imperium fully, but I do like the way oiled leather looks, so I decided to give it a go. But So I guess let's talk about our topic of today, the Operation Red Veil.
Yes, let's. I see you've got the box there. Sorry, folks, we already opened it, as you can probably surmise.
Yes, so Casey and I did split this. So Operation Red Veil, Hakazan versus Fujian. So as always, we've got tokens, measurements, even silhouette markers.
Yep, basically everything you need to start the game.
We got the fluff book and the rule book.
So have you had a chance to look through the fluff book or anything at all?
I have not had a chance yet, but I mean, it does show a lot of. I mean, picture-wise, is amazing.
You know, it even has like an interesting painting guide, if you noticed.
Yeah. So it goes through the operation stuff, some fluff stuff. Shows you how to set up your board, the mat. Talks modifiers and everything. So cool. I mean, if you and your buddy are looking to get into Infinity, these two-player starter boxes are an amazing investment.
Yeah, you know, and yeah, just a really great way to get started. And I know I'm ragging on these models here quite a bit, but honestly, in terms of like metal models, they don't get any better than this, folks. Like, you're probably looking at, I'll go out and say that these are probably the best metal miniatures in the world right now.
Oh, I agree. They're 3D sculpted, 3D print, 3D printed, and everything just goes together. Like this Bashi Bazook. I was telling Casey, the backpack back here, the wings are one full piece. And then there's a slot in the main body and on the backpack that once you push everything's pieces together like a puzzle piece. So you have to because before these wings were separate and you just had to like glue them wherever you could.
Oh, and then you also get some custom dice. I guess we should include that.
Yeah. So here's just going through the rest of the book. We got tutorials on how to assemble metal miniatures, how to paint stuff.
You know, and that's one of the things that I like is, I mean, this is what truly makes it a starter set, right? You know, I guess you could say, well, it's not a real starter set unless they have a ruler or something like that. But I mean, quite literally, I mean, you have dice, you have just about everything you need to start this game. I mean, except for super glue, you know?
Yeah. I mean, and the book itself, it's pretty thick, but you got the English side and then you got the Spanish. So there's a lot of information in there.
So, Alan, as a Spanish speaker, have you gone back and forth between it to make sure that the translation is good?
Yeah, it says in there in the Spanish side that Hakazan wins.
Oh wow! You mean like on a roll of a d20 they win?
Yeah. So if you and I were to play this scenario, I would win.
Oh wow! I'm glad you told me about that. I wouldn't have known otherwise.
That's only the Spanish side, so you'd have to catch me. So if we play, we'll play English rules, so it's a fair chance for it.
I appreciate that.
So yeah.
I mean, I'm really not surprised that rule is in there, considering how much Corvus Belli loves Pakistan. more than anybody else.
Like Casey mentioned before, dice. Casey has the orange dice. I have the Hakazan dice. And the other interesting thing is we got a plastic divider in here instead of the cardboard stuff like before.
Yeah, that's really handy just to kind of like split everything up. So.
But yeah, a lot of miniatures in here, folks. Was it 7 on each side, I believe?
Yes, 7 on each side.
And then the mercenary. So yeah, a lot of good, cool miniatures in here. All these are fresh sculpts, which makes it amazing for just the hobbyists in general.
Yeah, they're such great sculpts, and the nice thing is also like they're good models. I feel like a lot of time, they're good. They're useful models. I feel like a lot of times people will say, like with the starter box, say, "Oh yeah, that's fine if you're just going to play the starters against each other." But if you're really going to play this game, you're going to need to, pretty quickly get this and get that.
Mm-hmm.
And to be fair, this isn't like a full 300 points on each side. But at the same time, all of these models are incredibly useful. And there's not like really a bad one in there where you're like, well, he looks cool, but he's never going to see the tabletop.
Mm-hmm. And what's interesting for me is I have most of the Gulam miniatures. Now I've got 3 more. So I can run.
And you'll use all 6 Gulams.
Oh, I think it bumps my number up to 9 or 10 Gulams now. They're AVA total, so.
But that also includes like the support weapon pack and stuff, right?
Yeah. So a limited insertion match, all Gulams.
Yes, I want to see it, dude.
All Gulams all the time.
I don't know, like 10 Gulams. What does that come out to? Like 100 points, 120, depending on how you spec them out.
I think the base miniature is 12 points.
Oh, okay. Dude, that'd be hilarious. Just do like all light infantry against each other. Play golf wise, like who can get the lowest amount of points or bring the lowest amount of points to towers.
So what? As far as the miniatures go, I'm enjoying all the Hakazan ones. How about you with the Jujin?
Yeah, it's not much to look at them in bare metal form and baggies, so I understand that. I haven't put them together yet. I spent a lot of time looking at them, but in a lot of ways, like I was really excited for the ninja, and I think once it's all done and painted, it'll still be, amazing looking, right? But just looking at her bare model, I'm just like, like she's okay. Like the one that's really sticking out to me is the Tiger Soldier. As I've been looking at her more and more, I'm just like, this is a cool model. Like she's got a super cool backpack. She's got cool looking armor. I am really excited for her.
Now, are you going to pick this up normal or say studio scheme, or how are you going to go about this?
I'm going to stick with the studio scheme. And the funny thing is, this is like the first time I think I'll. I've painted individual models to a studio scheme, a la Achilles, but my LF were my own thing. So this is kind of my first time really sticking to a studio scheme. I'm a little nervous about it. Just because, Angel does it so well.
Yo, dog, I know a really good painting tutorial. It shows you how to hack the airbrush. Ancient Chinese secrets.
And I'm painting the Chinese army, huh?
Yeah.
Yeah, the funny thing is, like, honestly, the stuff that like his style is fairly similar to the way Angel Heraldez does his stuff.
It is.
And we've talked about this before.
Yeah. It's right from the book.
Which is why I was kind of laughing. They're like, "Oh, I painted like Heraldez style." It's like, that's not really a style. But anyways, yeah. So it's mostly going to be, I guess. So the plan for him here right now is we'll go ahead and base coat him black, and I usually just use like a rattle can for that because I've tried airbrushing primer onto these metal minis before, and while it covers fine, the primer is just too thin. I found, and it rubs off pretty easily.
Are you letting it cure?
Yes.
Okay. I do find that you have to like give at least 24 hours of a cure for everything to set.
Oh yeah, no, I've done that before. Like I've let it sit and cure. Actually, that one probably sat for about 3 days. Yeah, it's just the metal, metal's hard. It doesn't move, and so when you rub up against it, you just got to be super, super careful because you'll be seeing bare metal in no time.
Well, you know what? You might want to try investing in this Kickstarter then.
Oh gosh, how many more days does that have to go?
It has exploded very much. So, but yeah, I mean, this is you see professional painters use these, but pretty much anybody can use these. These are miniature painting holders and grips for sculpting and painting. And what's really nice about it, it's basically just cork that just plugs into a grip. But what's nice is that they have this metal, this 360 metal overhanging arch.
Yeah, I don't know about that thing.
Well, what that does is that it's a stabilizer. So it allows you to stabilize your brush for real intricate painting or sculpting.
Yeah, but like just the way it's got it held with like the finger there, that looks a little awkward to me. I think there's a different one, like there's a different way you can kind of hold it. That makes a little more sense to me.
Yeah.
I was actually looking at that the other day. I was like, that's dumb. But then after like a few minutes of reading through, I'm like, maybe that's not dumb.
Yeah, they have different types here. And it holds looks like it pretty much holds up every size of thing.
Have you invested in it?
I am getting ready to back it. I've been just really much more so. How many do I want?
Yeah, I saw that. It's like, you're like, get a dozen. I'm like, no, thank you.
Yeah, and
I guess if you're a professional painter or something, maybe a dozen makes sense, but not for me. Maybe 2.
And like I said, or like I show here, it's real easy to put in a miniature. It's just cork. It's a slotted cork going into a base, and the ring just hooks onto it.
Yeah. How far out are they on delivery? Like, did they say?
It's February 2017, or July, depending on what level you are at.
I mean, that's what, 5-6 months.
Yeah. I mean, or you can use methods like I'm currently doing. I've got an old GW paint bottle, and I've because most of my stuff's magnetized now. I've got I got a washer up here. It just holds everything in place while I paint.
I use this is an old Sobe bottle lid, and that's what I use because it kind of fits right there, real conveniently. So just gonna do that.
The main thing, folks, the main thing is that you don't want to be holding it in your hand. Your miniature, you will tend to rub. Like if you're holding it, you'll rub off your paint. You'll get your the oils on your miniature.
This is possibly going to be my new one. It's basically just an old pill bottle, right? But as you can see, a base fits on there perfectly.
Yep, so, all you need is some blue tack.
Yep, that's a nice, good grip. I actually need new blue tack. Pro tip, after a while, blue tack goes bad. It just turns into like this nasty, goopy mess. So I didn't know that. I found that out. So, yeah, blue tack goes bad. It breaks bad, dude. It breaks bad.
So for my Hot Islam stuff, I picked up these Warsenal bases.
Yeah? Are they like the new ones with like the really funky design or whatever on them?
Yeah, the was it Runihura is the name.
I've seen somebody try to paint that. It's like, oh my gosh, it looks like a nightmare to paint.
Yeah. I'm looking at them like, you know what? I could do this. It's going to be interesting. Yeah, I've seen several people I've seen painting them, and it's just like mask, paint, mask, paint.
Yeah, not. Fortunately, I already have all of my base toppers painted.
Oh yeah, it's the same stuff, right?
I don't know. Is that an actual resin base, or is it just like a base topper?
These are. I'll pull it up. It looks like plastic, laser cut plastic.
Okay, yeah, same thing. My only advice is, just hit it with like a little scuff sand first. Because sometimes that real glossy acrylic doesn't always bond real well. So, and you could use a fairly, because I would just use like a rattle can primer on it. Like, you feel dumb because at least mine were, they're black plastic, and then I scuff it all up and then I reprime it black. And you kind of feel dumb at first until you realize just like how poorly, paint will bond to acrylic. Like a glossy finish acrylic.
I've used gray primer on plastic miniatures before, and it's like, what did I prime? I'm not sure.
Yeah. Yep, I've done that before too. And you're just like, did I just waste a significant portion of my time on this?
So yeah, this is from Warsenal.
Yeah, they're kind of one of Corvus Belli's like chosen companies. Preferred partners, we'll say that.
And yeah, look, so it's 2 pieces. So you got the bottom piece for magnets, and then your top piece. Or you can just glue the top piece onto a base.
Oh, well, that's interesting. That's kind of cool. Yeah, and the nice thing is, just if you want to bond those two together, all you do is just take your hobby knife, score up your mating surface there, and a little bit of white glue, and you're good to go. So, because I found that white glue works just fine on acrylics. I know there's a lot of people out there that like fancier stuff, but good old-fashioned PVA does the job just fine there.
Yeah, I'm semi-tempted to use super glue, but with how well super glue fogs up acrylics.
Well, I mean, you don't really care if the acrylic is getting fogged up here, right? Because I mean, you're going to be painting over it.
Sure.
So, yeah, I mean, you can use super glue if you want to. It's just that's going to take a lot of super glue. So, if you just thin down your PVA, right? Because if you use it too thick, it won't squeeze out very well. And especially with that, if you're going to paint them, or if you're going to glue them, I would glue them together before you paint them. And just take like a clamp, right?
Mm-hmm.
You know, throw a little bit of PVA between them, clamp them up, and just let them sit overnight. So yeah, those have been nice. Mine came from Death Ray Designs, and I've loved them. Like, I kept them all on the sheet, I guess, or this. I don't want to really call it the sprue, but you know, just kind of chain paint them up, and that was hilariously fun. You know, just painting bases with your airbrush all on one track. It really lets you kind of practice and play around with the airbrush. So I recommend it for everybody. If you're new to an airbrush and you're kind of uncomfortable with it, get a piece of terrain, like a cargo container or something like that, and paint that up. Or, you know, get some of these. You know, you can start on a miniature. I mean, I'm not going to tell you what to. But if you're just looking for, like, building skills and, you know, you don't want to worry about screwing things up, yeah, this is the perfect way to start. I wonder if I could pay somebody to cut these things off for me.
I use clippers.
So, like, I get it, but in the past, so first of all, like, I need a new pair of clippers. But, like, even with, like, these big, chunky, heavy infantry guys, like, I found that the clippers, unless I saw through this middle piece first,
It spreads it.
It'll spread their legs out, dork them all up. Whereas this saw is infuriatingly slow. I don't get any hand cramps.
Yeah, well,
But it doesn't damage the sculpt at all. And the nice thing is, like, you can just you can find one place where their feet hang out over the tab and kind of use that as a guide so you cut straight.
Or you could always use a drone.
Dude, you want to watch me pin these guys in a few minutes? Because that's what I'm going to do. So, what I like to do for pinning, and this will terrify some people, and I've heard some people say that this is like the worst way to do it, but I will actually use a power drill.
Yeah. Yes, it can be very scary.
So I'll tell you what, like, there's some other ones where I may not do that, but where you've got like these big old chunks of metal here, right? And I'm planning on going 1/8 of an inch or so in. Yeah, I think it cost me like $12 or $14, and I got it from Home Depot. And there's a set of 4 or 5 like micro drill bits. I'm on my second set, or I'm on my second drill bit.
Did burn through them already?
Well, the first one, it got some glue on it. I had I got some glue on it, and the super glue dried on it, and kind of worked it out. But the next way down, but yeah, it'll fit an electric drill, and you just kind of set the drill down, or like clamp it to your table. Whatever you do, keep it real steady, and don't wind it up to full speed. But just kind of take it slow, get yourself set, and yeah, man, like I'll do the most wicked pins like through metal. And once again, why metal sucks, because you can pin plastic like in seconds.
Yeah, you can also burn through plastic miniature in seconds.
Dude, you got to be an idiot to do that. I've heard people like, oh my gosh, I drilled too deep and I busted through the other side. How long were you going on that thing for? Right? But they're like, oh, I blew out the side of this. You'll see, especially on plastic, you will see that bit starting to come through. That's your warning sign to stop. So, yeah, if you're burning all the way through your model, unless that's your intention, and I've done that sometimes before, you should not be blowing through things.
That's what they always. Whenever you hear or see somebody online posting about it, they say you just got to be careful. You got to be aware of your surroundings.
Look, anytime you're using any kind of tool, you need to be careful and pay attention to what you're doing.
Well, there's a reason why there is a eye drop warning on super glue. Somebody did it once.
See, now I'm like crazy. We're like, oh man, I gotta be so careful. I do not want to cut myself with this saw, and then like on the show, and then everybody's gonna laugh at me. Like, oh dude, just be careful. How do you do that?
Little blood, sweat, and tears.
I have bled for my models before.
Yep, I have too. One last thing for the evening. Several of us are going to go down to Arizona for the Arizona Armageddon in October. So in the coming weeks, you'll definitely be hearing me talk about my tournament preparation.
Yeah, we can sit down. We can, take a look at the missions. They've posted the missions up, and we can talk about lists and so on and so forth. I imagine you'll want to get some practice games in too. Maybe we can do a little practice here.
I will say, I was telling Casey this the other day. I had a match this past week, and I took one of my lists, and I was going up against military orders panel list with a 5-man link team of Joan of Arc. And
which is nasty.
It is nasty. If you've ever faced one of those, each one's got 2 wounds. They got no wound incapacitation on them. And they just got a wider range of weapons. And
knights are good in general, but then when you give them, +1 burst, and then they've got, +3 to their ballistic skill, they're just kind of crazy.
Yeah. But the downside is that they're all heavy infantry, and when you have a miniature, when you have a unit for like Hakazan, we have this one called the Murowiya, just a 5-point miniature. So it just happens to have a weapon called Jammer and a weapon called Imorat, which is really nasty. Although the Jammer is nasty in general because you can isolate somebody out of a group. And then the Imorat is just
does it have to be hackable for that to work? Or?
You can jam anybody.
Okay.
And isolates them, and then so that's what happened. The guy's second turn, he runs around the corner with his link team. I jam his link leader. He fails a save.
Well, let's also
between.
mention this M team is crazy expensive. There's not a whole lot of other stuff left in your list after you.
Oh yeah, it's 200 points. It's like a walking tag group, and my 5-point miniature locked it down for a whole turn. It was great.
Like the funny thing is like that mutt is so well designed for that. Like you don't even need to roll well. Like he just does it.
Yeah, it's interesting because the Munoia, he had all these tools. I brought him in, started using them more in Human Sphere because it got smoke. But yeah, 5-point smoke launcher guys. They can never get cover. They die horribly, but they do what they do.
Yes, and they do what they do very, very well. I think we've talked about this before. Why I think that Munoia are ridiculous. They're stupid good. They're better than what they should be for like 5 or 6 points. I feel like if you paid 20 points for a model like that, you're still getting a bargain.
I hope never to pay 20 points for those guys.
Well, sure you don't, but yeah, those guys are just too good.
All right, that's it for me tonight. Or Casey, do you have anything else?
No, I think we're pretty much we're at a good place to wrap up here. So I've got my guy. Well, I've got my Wuming cut off from their bases, and at least their bodies are all cleaned up. So I think I'm about ready to call them these guys.
Cool. Well, if Casey takes any progress photos, you'll probably see it on her Facebook page, Atomic Salt.
Yep. So that's it for me, sir.
That is it for me as well. Folks, if you have any comments or want to start a conversation, be sure to chime in. We'd love to hear from you. Like this video, share it with your friends, subscribe to see more. We got plenty of Infinity stuff going on, and then everything else in the tabletop hobby world. Casey, anything else?
No, that's it for me. Just as always, if there's ever something you'd like us to talk about or take a look at, shoot us an email at theatomicsalt@gmail.com. This has been the Atomic Salt, and I don't know, something's blown our mind.
Operation Red Veil.
Yeah, sure, why not? Red Veil blew our minds.
Good night, folks. See you next week.